Hey everybody, this is Josh from Music Lesson here, coming at you with another video. This is the first video in stage 2 of our learning process, okay? And I'm just going to go through some bowings and some techniques with your bow that you can use to learn. These are kind of at your level, okay, in the process, so that you should be able to do all of them, and I'll explain them and give you some examples so that you can follow along. The first one that we have to talk about is Detache bowing, okay? Detache very simply means separated or literally detached, okay? Now, there's multiple Detache bowings. Martelet is actually an example of Detache bowing, but very simplistically, Detache is just a separated bow stroke, okay? And that's where it can get a little bit confusing because you can have multiple different bow strokes that can achieve that. But very simply, what we did earlier in our method here, previously in stage 1, we did separate bowings, okay? I want you to do the same thing. That's just an example of Detache bowing. So you could get something like this. That's separated, okay? In other words, they're not all one bow. They're not slurred together, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So that's basically an example of Detache bowing, okay? Separated or detached, all right? The next bowing we have is the staccato bowing, okay? Now, staccato comes from 2 words in Italian, staccare, which means to detach, and attaccare, which means to attack. I apologize if I butchered those, but I don't speak Italian. But that's okay. I play violin. So, staccato, we're going to detach it and we're going to attack it. Now, contrary to popular belief, we don't actually add weight to staccato, okay? Like sometimes I see people playing staccato like that's actually a slightly different staccato bow stroke. Very basic staccato is when you add time between the notes. Okay, so basically, if I'm playing quarter notes, I'll give you an example. If I'm playing quarter notes, I want to, instead of playing full quarter notes, I want to play an 8th note and an 8th rest. Okay, so it'll be something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if you were counting it, which we're going to get to in a little bit later in stage 2 here, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the ands would be the rests, okay? Now that's staccato bowing. Now, next we come along to legato bowing, okay? Legato literally means tied together in Italian. When you play legato, you want there to be no sound, accent, or distinction between notes or when changing notes, okay? Now, this can take on the form of a slur, okay? Slur is when you tie multiple notes together with one bow stroke, one bow direction, okay? So you could do something as simple as... Notice I did my down, I did multiple notes, and I did up, and I did multiple notes, okay? That could be an example of legato bowing, okay? But legato bowing doesn't have to be slurred. Legato could be written in underneath the music, or you could have that slur over there that could create the sound of legato bowing, okay? So if you're doing legato bowing, if it says legato on your music, but it's not slurred, okay, you're still going to do separate bows, but you want there to be an imperceptible difference between downstroke and upstroke on your bow, okay? So if you're playing, it'd be something like this. Work on playing that bow stroke so smoothly and so finely that the listener can hardly tell the difference between one note and the next. Okay, so that's legato, tied together, the feel. You want to produce that feel of being tied together no matter what. And then, of course, literally tied together if you're playing slurs or ties to go along with that. Okay? Now, that brings us to tenuto, okay? Now, tenuto is a marking that is the exact opposite of staccato, okay? While staccato means to literally make audible separation, tenuto means to hold. So you're actually going to hold the note out for its full value. Now, in order to read tenuto in music, sheet music, you're going to see a horizontal line on the bottom or the top of the note head, okay? Now, remember the example we used before with 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes where we had staccato and the and was a rest? We're not going to have those rests anymore. We're going to hold those quarter notes out for its full value here, okay? So we're going to count to 4 again. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. And notice I held 4 even to the end until I was about to play the next downbeat, the next one, okay? That's tenuto. Tenuto is when you're holding the notes out for their full values, not going into the area of the next note, not hitting the time of the next note, but playing the full value of the pitch, or of the note, okay, that you're playing, of the duration, okay? So that's basically what this article is about in a nutshell. I like to go through the article. I hope this helped you out. Leave some comments below if you have any questions, or if you found this helpful. And remember, music is magic.